All right, we got the 3 champs here. How's everybody feeling, man? You're sick as fuck.
I'm sick. Body hurts. I feel so shitty, but at least the mentals are locked in right now. My mind is it's way better than the body. But yeah, I just need a beer. Like I said, I'm cooked.
And you don't drink?
I do not drink. Last time I drank was the day after Worlds. Yeah, I drank after Worlds. One beer. I felt one beer.
Really?
That's all I needed.
That's
I'm
amazing.
telling you, I don't drink at all. So
Definitely get the Mick Ultra then.
Yeah.
How many drinks you gonna have tonight?
probably 2.
Wow,
All I need is 2.
shit.
Oh, he's
I
getting
took,
wild
I took so
on
much
us.
Tylenol. Like if I drink any more than 2, I'm done.
That's a good point. I didn't think about
That
that.
combo is crazy.
Janée, wow, he's getting wild on us.
I'm at 600 calories, 700 calories deep, barely
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
All of it's liquid, and then all the Tylenol and ibuprofen. It's not a good combination.
Catch up in beer, man.
Yeah,
Catch
I
up in
got you.
beer. How about you guys? How you guys feel? How you feeling, Janée? We'll
I
swing
feel
around the
pretty
table.
much the same as Joe. My back hurts. Actually, everything just hurts except my upper body. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna sleep real good tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, just need a food and beer. Same.
Yeah.
same.
Meg,
I feel great.
is food and beer as well for you?
Probably have a margarita.
That a girl. Sounds good. You were saying this is actually year 10 for you. Mm-hmm. 10 years in the game. Are you surprised you're still here?
Yes.
At this level, too, no less.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to be completely honest, I thought after 2020, I wasn't going to come back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So,
And how many world championships will this be that you just made?
6.
In your in her worlds, you were not just there to participate. You were breaking world record totals in your very first worlds.
Yeah. That my first Worlds was like one of the best battles.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100%. A classic in the 57 kilo class. So let's talk about the preps coming into this. Joe, you had a very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
How was it coming into this?
I don't want to call it prep because it was only 4 weeks and 2 days long. So it was by far the hardest challenge mentally and physically. Squat was feeling all right. Like we spoke in the podcast about it. It was feeling around Sheffield level. Bench was as well, but deadlift was, I don't know what was wrong with it. But the 355 second that wrapped up the win was the same weight I took last week, and I failed it. It got glued to the floor.
Yeah.
So to fail 355 to peak into 370 with more kilos in the tank, that's a blessing. So mentally, I was kind of distraught when I failed that. I had no idea what was going to happen on the day. But physically, it was probably even worse. It was like a lose-lose scenario, and I came out here no pressure because at this rate, I'm like, well, I have nothing to lose. I can't get any worse than what happened at Sheffield. And it just so happened that my Sheffield total would have still won the battle today.
That is actually true.
Which is crazy. So
I'm shocked at that, actually.
Yeah, and like I said, Angelo also pulled off, you can call it an upset, came in second place, securing his international NAPF, not wild card, but like first selection, I guess.
Right.
So that's cool to watch. But yeah, going into the prep itself, it was by far the hardest one I've ever been through.
And how many kilos do you think, you know what, save it. Let's walk through the performance afterwards. I'll swing around the table about everybody's prep. But one more question leading into this huge announcement, Taylor Atwood withdrawing.
Yep.
What did that mean to you when you saw Taylor's gone?
So I'll be lying if I said it didn't reduce like the pressure, obviously. It did. But I spoke about this earlier, like the pressure I think brings the best out of me. So yes, it reduced that pressure, but it didn't make me a better lifter. Like if anything, I kind of calmed down a bit. Like I knew that, Jaden wasn't at my top end strength. Same with Angelo. I knew Taylor would be the biggest rival. So if he came in healthy, it would be neck and neck with himself. But it turned out like I'm not gonna say he's over the hill yet. I don't want to say that just yet. Hey,
Take it easy.
you're an anomaly out here, right?
Was that insulting that I looked at you?
No.
You're like, okay, first off, he said it, then Ryan looks directly at me. What the fuck are you guys doing?
He's all right. I think he has a couple more years, right? But the older he's getting, the harder it is to recover from those preps.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the stronger I'm getting because I'm still not near my prime, right? So I was still confident. I was able to make the quick turnaround and still I think it has to have been an upset if he were to come and I would win because everyone picked Taylor. So it would have been an upset win in my opinion. But I was very disappointed that he pulled out. But, shit happens. Showing up healthy is part of the game. I'm not going to call it a skill. Sometimes it ends up being luck. And things didn't, roll in his favor. It is what it is. But I'm so happy that I was able to perform the 892. You can say that he could have pulled more or done more than that. History hasn't shown that. So
That's true.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to see no asterisks on this performance. Oh, like, Taylor would have beat me. Like, nah. No one has done over 880 yet. Besides Perk, like I said, Perk is the second best 83 on the planet.
Right.
Technically.
That's true.
So I don't want to hear nothing about it. I have the top 3 83 totals still.
Fair enough. And if he had shown up, I mean, like you had already said, he wasn't there. The pressure was alleviated, and you could have, if you hit the hammer and dropped it, you could have done 900 or whatever. It's all conjecture at this point. Mm-hmm. Janée, how about yourself? How was prep going into this? Obviously, you were extremely confident, rattling some cages, got people talking about it. But come the day of, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I would say this has honestly been the hardest prep I've had ever. Speaking of healthy and injuries and things like that, I tweaked my back 5 weeks out, and it's still not 100% today.
Whoa.
So, I'm on like 2 Aleve and about 6 ibuprofen right now. I accidentally cut my leg, and it was just bleeding like water. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the bar. I was pulling with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, on the bar.
Another bar gate, almost.
Yeah, I guess me and Joe like to share the same platform because we were on the same warm-up platform for advances.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
were.
But yeah, so that was a big hurdle, right? And then I just had some personal stuff, like my dog. He's pretty sick right now, so. That's my child, But my friend sent me a video. He was watching me. So
Really?
we did it for Tito.
He was watching. He's like, I get this fucking pole, or he can't believe the attempts handling and the whole nine he's in. He's a fan.
Yeah, he is, so I do it all for him. I'm like, when I go to these meets, I'm like, I'm gonna win this so I can provide a better life for you. But outside of that, so yeah, there was some big stressors, and I knew I really wasn't gonna be 100%. But the way I rationalized it was, I don't need to be 100% to win this battle.
That's my line. What are you doing?
Is it your line? Oh.
He did drop that, but it's interesting that you said you were dealing with all that as far back as 5 weeks out, because a lot sooner than 5 weeks, you were ratcheting up the pressure, ratcheting up the hype. Most people, if things were going sideways on them, would be like, oh, shit, do I want to talk this much shit and potentially lose? Mm-hmm. Did that never cross your mind? You're just like, it'll work out for me?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that, if you're going to talk shit, you might as well be able to back it up. And I just was like, I almost felt like, okay, I'm going to put myself in a position where I can't bail out. Like, I need to win this. Like, I told everybody, I was like, if I lose this is the biggest aura drain of my life. I can't let that happen. So, no, I mean, regardless of the totals, right, everybody's saying, oh, she's going to put up 600. I'm like, I knew that wasn't going to happen. I'm going to be honest. But, we'll save it for Worlds. That's pretty much what I can leave it at. Yeah.
Right. That's the next one. We'll get there in a sec. Meg, you came into this very quick turnaround, just like Joe, just like Anthony Scanlon, just like a couple other people. You didn't have the performance you wanted at Sheffield. You wanted a better performance. Obviously, you got that. But very quick turnaround. And it was international previously. How was prep when it's that quick?
Yeah. It's funny. I think everyone wanted this to be like the day I avenged my Sheffield total, and it really wasn't that for me mentally. Like, it was a very quick turnaround, and we kind of played with how little can I do and still approach top end. But a few things, like my total wasn't unbeatable in my opinion. Like, I know there was a big gap between me and Christiane, who ended up dropping out, but she's strong. And I just wasn't comfortable letting that be tested and be at home. So I knew that I didn't necessarily have to have my best day, but I wanted to be there if I had to. And then secondarily, quite honestly, I've changed my bench pretty significantly in the past 4 weeks, and I wanted to put it on the platform before Worlds.
Not a bad idea. Test it out. So in terms of where you think percentage-wise, were you like 90%-ish, or how did the body feel coming into this?
You mean in terms of my body or what I was doing training-wise? I
would say if you were Gage coming in here, were you telling yourself, I think strength levels are around 90%, hopefully that's enough, or there and about?
Yeah, I mean, coming in, I really had no clue where my strength levels were going to be until truly like last week I took some heavy lifts. But before that, they were pretty light. Like I'm pretty sure week 1, I deadlifted like 160 or something. So I took some pretty big jumps and took my seconds essentially last week and was like, all right, we'll just see what happens. It was a bit of an experiment. It was fun.
But a lot of what you wanted, collect some data points and work
Yeah.
that bench and see what it's going to feel like.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual day of. Sir, walk us through squats. When you ended up, walk through all attempts, but where you ended up particularly, if that's where you thought you would be.
Yeah, so the plan was anywhere from like 305 to 310. 310 if I was feeling amazing on the day, and then 305 if I was feeling like shit, which I was. So last week I did like a 295 squat, which it moved decent. It didn't move the way I wanted it to, but I was still confident I can at least add 10 to that, at least on the day. I didn't plan on getting sick and all that too, or having a 15-hour travel, so that kind of threw a wrench into things. Like
15 hours?
My flight was going to get delayed because there was like an ice storm in Texas. That was my layover. So I pushed it to Phoenix, and my layover went from an hour and a half to over 5.
Damn.
So I went to Phoenix for my layover, and I actually left the airport. I trained, and I came back to the airport to do my bench session.
Shit.
So the whole, I left the house at like 8:30 a.m., and by the time I got to the hotel, it was, I think, 11:30 p.m., and that's with a 3-hour time difference on top of that. So do the math. It was insane. I think it's 16 hours. Yeah. So yeah, I was cooked just because of that. And then I think I got sick as a result. The altitude, like I can barely breathe. So I was feeling cooked on the day. So I knew that top end, if I wanted over 305, I'd have to get a blessing or a miracle, right? And it happened. My second was kind of shitty. I did like a 297. And I did feel like a huge divot on my opener on the right side. So I was squatting. I was like, yo, my right foot is like half an inch deeper into the ground than my left. So on my second, I'm like, okay, I need to shimmy my way to the left side. And that threw me off like crazy. So I was like, on my third, I was like, I just need to squat normal. I'll take the imbalance. I don't care. I already squat lopsided that shit anyways. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So on my third, I just locked it in. I felt the floor super uneven still. It is what it is. And I knew I was able to get the 305. And thank God I had one of my best friends come. His name is Phil. He's the guy that always spots me in the background, the big Asian dude, swole, super strong. And he was in the audience doing attempts with my coach, Luke. And basically, whoever had the lower attempt or the guesstimate for my third attempt, whoever thought of the lower one, that was the number I was taking. So if Luke thought 307 and he thought 310, we're taking 307. We're taking the lower of the two. So thank God he was there. And they actually both agreed on 305. Like, they're doing it like independently too. I told him, like, do not collaborate on the thirds. Like, I want Luke to have his third. I want you to have your third, because he trains with me every single day. He sees me in person. He gives me spots. So I trust in Phil's attempt selection like a lot. And then obviously Luke, he's there for the mentals, and of course he handles me every single meet. So it was a good combination to have them both there. But yeah, they both agreed on the 305, and it was the perfect call. Maybe I had 2.5 more, but that would have cooked my bench more. That would have cooked my deadlift more. So I thought it was the perfect call. And for how bad I'm feeling, to match my last year's national squat third attempt, which was a PR, my all-time best is 307. So it's like I'm 2.5 under while feeling 50% worse. So I'll take it as a win, and I'm happy with the 305.
After your opener, I was saying on the commentary, we're going to see where Joe is, because Joe was saying he wasn't 100%, estimating around 95%. Let's see what that looks like. Hit your opener, beat in the chest. All right, but it was an opener.
Yep.
Came out for your second, and obviously you haven't rewatched it yet, but I mentioned Joe didn't leave the second attempt nearly as confident. Reading you, I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, based off of, it moved okay, but you just weren't as convinced afterwards.
Yeah.
And then when I saw 305 on the board, I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. This is only 2.5 kilos below his personal best. And we didn't know Jaden was going to miss yet. We didn't know how, like their totals, Angelo's total and his total, it would be 850 yet. So on that time, it was like, if Joe isn't 100%, and if he misses this 305. So interesting that they both said 305. How convinced were you when you saw 305?
Oh, I knew it was 100% there, because I messed up the second attempt. I shimmied to the left too much. My left toe was like flared out more. It was horrible. So I knew it was a position issue, because I shifted, I think, into the right side, which I never do. I always shift into my left. So I knew it was a position thing, and I was thinking too much about the walkout, and the start command was longer as a result. It was horrible. So I knew if I just like cleaned it up and did what I did on my opener, I'd be fine for 305. And I told my coach, I was like, bro, I'll take 300 if you want me to. I was not glued to any number. I'm taking legit just what's there on the day because I need to play conservative. I have by far the top end, and the only way I can lose is if I miss lifts. So I'm not trying to miss anything. I missed the bench. It is what it is. I lost 4 kilos. But the lifts that counted the most, my deadlift and my squat, those showed up good enough for the win. So I'm happy with the 305. But like I said, the second attempt was butchered. So I'm still confident in the third.
I could tell you as a commentator watching as well, like in the squats, I'm not gonna openly say like the battle was over because I'm trying to keep it entertaining as a commentator. But I can tell you right now, when I saw Jaden miss his third squat, I'm like, well, I mean that's that.
Yeah.
He can not only and his third squat was to match his PR total or PR squat. Sorry, my man, you can't match what you did previously because we did previously is less than Joe. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna have this battle, you need to be hitting PR. So as soon as I seen him put 297.5 on there, I'm like, where is this 30 kilo gap going to come from? Or wherever thereabouts it's going to end up being. So when you seen him miss, were you telling yourselves the battle has turned into a hunt? It's like, where are you at?
No, when I saw when he put it for his third, I thought it was over.
If I'm honest, me too.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that because like it's a viewership. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, fuck.
Exactly. Because like, all right, let's give him his third. I fail my third. We have the same exact squat now. I outbench him by 25 kilo.
Yeah.
He doesn't outpull me by 25 kilo.
And you deadlift the same.
We deadlift identical. So
half a kilo.
Like the pressure was already off.
Yeah.
So that gave me more confidence into 305. But yeah, like when I saw that third, before the fail even, I was like, oh, it's over. And then he failed it. I'm like, okay, now it's him versus Angelo. So that's why I was actually watching as a fan the whole time. I told Angelo, I was like, bro, beat Jaden for me, please. I was telling him before weigh-ins, before equipment check-in, during the meet, and then right after it happened, he came to me. He's like, "I did it for you, man." and then he slid a big old cigar in my pocket.
Okay, none of this happened.
I swear, do I have it? No, I give it to my coach.
I didn't think I called your bluff.
No, he actually has it. My coach has it, Luke.
No, I believe it. Angelo smokes cigars back to back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had Sean on Noriega in between squats bench, and I was asking him about it, and he was like, kind of alluding to, look at if Jaden missed his third, even if Jaden hit his third, like he's supposed to be PRing. And I'm like, fuck, these are tough questions because you're kind of taking the wind out of the sails. Like, this is entertaining, eh, guys? But to a large extent, look, it started turning into just a battle for second place.
Yep.
Janée, let's talk about your squats. Walk us through the squats. Did it go the way you planned? While that battle after the squats looked like it was already coming down to a simmer, your battle on the flip side, both of you guys 3 for 3. She hits a national record. She's got a chip. The pressure is still on. Entertainment value is amazing. Walk us through your squats, and are you paying attention to what she's doing?
Yeah. So I'm the type of lifter where I want to see all the data. I don't want to know, or I don't want to not know what my competition's doing. So I'll put it like this. Me hitting 207.5 was a 10 kilo squat PR for me. Her hitting a national record was a 1.5 kilo PR. So I figured our benches are probably going to be around the same. Obviously, I have the deadlift advantage. So, I figured if she's going to have a shot at this, she's going to need to put up like a 220 plus squat. And, that obviously wasn't there on the day. So for me, I felt really good after squats. Like, I was really nervous. That's probably the most nervous I've been for squats. And, that third was a grinder.
I was going to say, hey, listen, I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see that freaking third, but oh my God, that might be the biggest grinder I've seen the entire national so far. You wanted that. And you knew if you, at any point, if you lost that, does the whole thing change?
I wouldn't say the whole thing changed, but it was going to make my job a lot easier for the rest of the day. And, I was already kind of tired. So I'm like, look, let me just make deadlifts easier, please.
Because that was a crazy third squat.
Yeah. It was the right call, like on the money. I don't think I had a kilo more in me.
If you afterwards, like, I think I had 2.5. What do you think? I'd be like, I was like, holy shit, you're such a power lifter. If you would have said that, but afterwards, the celebration, the whole, you were extremely happy with yourself. Was it because how nervous you were going into squats and then going 3 for 3? it might be amalgamation of all of this. Was it because the fight you just had and overcoming the fight you just had with that third squat? And was it also, now you're doing the math in your head, I think the battle's won?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I think the initial shock of, like, that was a really hard lift, and I got through that, you know? Like, normally I'm kind of all smiles after I hit a squat or a deadlift, something like that. But if you look at my face, it was just like this, like, I don't know, weird smile of relief. I'm like, thank God I got that, you know?
You saw your ancestors for a second there.
Yeah, it was a little sketchy, but I just told myself I can't go down. Like, I just have to keep going up, and it did. So, but I think actually the biggest reason why is because of the strategy part. Like, I knew if I hit this, we're in a great spot moving forward. And, you know, that 5 kilos, while it may not have been the decider, like I said, it makes the job a lot easier. So, yeah.
Definitely you were in a good position, but yeah, anything can happen in bench press, anything can happen in deadlifts, and whatever. We'll get to those in a second. Meg, walk us through your squats. How are you feeling? How did the squats feel?
Sure. So I went down a rabbit hole after Sheffield because I got called on depth for the first time in 10 years and changed my whole entire squat, and then decided that was a terrible idea on Monday. So I changed it.
This Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But warming up, they felt really good. My goal was kind of just to try to chip my own record if they were feeling good, regardless of how they moved. So it's kind of how the day went, you know?
And I can't believe.
Boring statement.
Well,
Sorry.
No, but 10 years, I didn't know that. That's the first time you got called on depth in 10 years?
Yes. Actually, this is even crazier. About to blow your mind. I've gotten called on rack commands. Okay.
Yeah.
Like my first meet, rack command, I got called on, I think, twice in the same meet. But whatever. I digress. Other than that, my squat at Worlds, 2019 Worlds, my first squat was a grind. I got a blue card. I'm probably for up and down or something. That's the only other technical call I've ever gotten on squat.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you broke records at that Worlds for squat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
So it messed with you a little bit. Sheffield really messed with you a
Oh
little.
my gosh. I changed my stance. I went wide. Then I tweaked my hamstring on Monday and I was like, terrible idea. Going back close. I changed my shoes 17 times. Like, that's going to make a difference, you know?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we went back.
And then retooled your bench press.
Yeah, that was, I had to do that. And I also
Right.
changed my deadlift.
So you're a veteran doing a lot of changes in a very short period of time.
Sure.
Sure. You're like, wouldn't recommend it, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, though. Like, I'm 10 years in, and I was actually talking to someone after the meet, and I was kind of like, every single year still, I find something I can improve upon. And I've been doing it for 10 years. So I think that a lot of times people see elite lifters lifting, they're like, wow, they're very technical, they lift pretty or whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, like at some point you have to be strong, but you also have to be efficient when you're lifting to be at the top.
Another question I was going to ask you, actually. If we pull it back a stitch, you decided to go 63. Previously, we had talked whether or not you wanted to go 63 or 69.
Yeah.
So why 63 and not 69?
Today?
Today, and obviously this will be moving forward as well, so.
Yeah, so today was more just the quick turnaround. Like, it's a lot of weight to gain in 4 weeks, to be honest, and make it substantial. And the other thing was Sheffield was a touch rough mentally for me. So like I mentioned, I didn't do a ton of training to prepare for this meet. And like, if I'm going to mess around in the 69s, like I got to be on my game. Like, I knew I could show up and not be 100% and be fine today, right? But if I'm going to compete at 69, like I have to be heavier, I have to have good training, and I have to show up to a meet knowing that I'm strong, you know?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's talk about the bench press. Sir, how was bench feeling? 219 coming in when was the previous PR, and you decided 221, was it a 0.5 on there?
Yeah, 221 and a half.
Okay, so walk me through bench press. I mean, it was conceivable. Wasn't a huge reach. So how did it go?
So let me backtrack to the prep. So bench was the only consistent lift of the three. Squats took a while to get back to normal, and thank God I'm not affected by the bench rule like Meg, but or both of y'all, I guess. But yeah, I did 1 week out. I posted 210, but I actually did 220 for 2 reps, not a double, but back-to-back singles. So I knew bench was on. I was good for at least a PR, and today I was. I did 207 opener, moved good, 217, moved phenomenal, but it felt way heavier than it looked.
Is that right? Because it really did look good.
Yeah, it felt way heavy. So like, I had like 4 people say like, oh, 224, 220, maybe 223.
Holy shit. Okay, I didn't think that good.
I was like, yeah, no, right? So I was like,
who's gassing you up in your corner?
Bro, my coach.
This was Angelo and Jaden, by the way.
my coach, her homeboy, Evan Hawk, like everyone was saying it. And I was like, you know what? Play it safe. I'm not doing, obviously, no 224. 223 was conceivable, but I was like, I didn't feel the best. Give me 221 and a half. I can solidify a PR, and I can match my subtotal PR from Avances. So I was thinking like, okay, if I do that, it's conceivable I can still hit a total PR on the day, which was the goal. I wanted 904.5. That was the goal I wanted going into it, because that would have chipped me above Elliot Sykes. Crazy kid, first of all.
Yeah.
He actually had the second highest GL points of all time. He beat me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he chipped me
He's
by
a
half.
kid.
Yeah, he chipped me by 0.5 GL. So now he's the second best pound for pound lifter.
Damn.
I know. So I wanted the
At
904.
19?
Yeah, I know, right? So I wanted the 904 and a half. That would have chipped him back. It's only because I weighed in really light. I was 82 like 4, so way lighter than I was anticipating, but that kind of helped out in terms of the pound for pound formula. But yeah, back to the bench. I loaded the 221 and a half, and I thought I was going to get it. I didn't make the same mistake at Sheffield where I gassed myself on my second. I emptied the tank, and I emptied my mental too. Because after my second at Sheffield, I was hype. I pushed Luke out of the camera frame. Like, you saw everything.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. My man is like now anticipating you're going to be pushing him around a little. And he held his ground today in a different way.
He leaned
like,
into it.
And it was like, hey, take it the fuck easy, man. He's still got to compete. But he's like, I'm not getting shoved around on camera by you anymore, man. He almost wanted to make a statement himself. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I kept the more PG, the celebrations.
Right. That's right.
But yeah, my third, I think I messed up my touch. I didn't. First of all, the pause was, I don't think I even paused it, first of all. Like, I hovered, and then, like, I went down a couple more centimeters, so that resulted in the press command being way longer than it should have been. Because the first 2 were fine. I was confident on the chest, and I came up with it fine. Like, I don't sink by any means, but I have an aggressive touch. There's no bounce, but I can firmly place it on my sternum, right? But on my third, it's like I was trying to baby it or something, and that kind of, like, gassed me out, and I just couldn't get it. And I was going to keep fighting, but at that point, like mid-grind, I was like, it's not worth. I'm just going to let it drop on me again and let the spotters take it. But yeah, that was a technical failure. The strength was there for sure on the day. It's just, like at Sheffield, I messed up with the mentals. Here, I messed up with the physicals. And
also, in terms of that third attempt, you probably, you knew after squats, if you're honest, whatever.
Yeah.
We're playing with house money. Let's have fun. Load it up.
I really didn't care.
Exactly.
After it, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm still probably going to come out the dub. As long as my deadlift shows up any stronger than it did the week out. Because I was still like, I didn't know how strong my deadlift was going to be, because I failed 355. And that's what happened to be the deadlift to wrap up the meet today. So I was like, I'm going to load 355 on my second. And hopefully I'm somewhat a resemblance of my peak self, and I can actually pull this. And I smoked it. It was fine.
Can you imagine? We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
But holy smokes. All right. Janée, in terms of bench press, this is where finally we saw some cracks emerge, both of you guys actually. So walk me through your bench, but also you watching her fail and your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So going into thirds, I was right before her, so I watched her fail in real time. And I kind of thought, well, at this point, if I make this 5 kilos, bridging the gap by 5 kilos. If I don't, I'm bridging the gap by 2.5. So either way it goes, I'm already ahead on bench. So it was pretty chill. For me, I think the strength for 130 was there. My foot just started slipping. The left just started giving, and if you've ever been in that position, it's like, oh, you're trying to fight it. And I got the left side pretty much locked out, but the right was just lagging too hard. And I just said, to hell with it, But yeah, I felt fine, because either way it goes, I think just putting up such a big squat, like I said, it makes all the other lifts easier. So I wasn't really too pressed about it. And And I with the sync thing, so I actually decided after Avantis, I was like, there's got to be something to this sync thing. Like, I'm seeing Meghan and all of them, like, some of the best female benchers in the world are all using this technique. There's got to be something to it. So I decided to switch.
That was good timing.
Yeah, that was fun. You're like, God damn it.
Like, I finally had perfected it. I pressed 140, and I was like, man, this is good. And then they're like, oh, yeah, never mind. And I was like, oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so now I have 2 months to correct that. So, yeah, definitely, like, the first block that I went back to my old technique, it just did not go very well. Like, you're taking out... When you sink that heavy, you're essentially removing the first portion of the bench, which can kind of be the hardest. You're using the momentum from your torso to assist. And so when you go back to touching relatively soft, it just requires so much force output off of the chest. So mechanically, it's a completely different lift. So if you've been lifting like one way for a minute, it's probably, when you switch over, you just need time to adjust.
I did okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying that for others. No, I'm just kidding.
But so I think by this block, I felt pretty good. Like, I hit 125 last primary, and it moved good. So either way, I'm like, all right, I'll save my 130 plus for Worlds. It's okay. Yeah.
Meg, how about your bench press? Obviously, this rule is going to impact you.
Yes. I'm on like version 4 of my bench. So I use the soft touch, like, very soft touch, high arch, then change to soft touch when the bench roll changed initially. And I didn't have the shoulder mobility to internally rotate enough, and my shoulder got really beat up. So that's when I started sinking and working on my internal rotation. So that was a while ago. I haven't soft touched in a long time. And I still had like a little sink going on, but I'm trying to flare my elbows. I don't know. Basically, it felt fine, but I'm like thinking a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on upstairs right now. Obviously, it's only been like 3-4 weeks, so I think after a couple more blocks, we'll be all right.
Your bench has been extremely resilient over the years, though. Like,
well, in all fairness, when the rule first changed, the elbow depth rule changed, I took a huge hit in kilos. Like, I think it was 25 kilo hit on my bench. Like, I benched 142.5 in 2021, and then it took me a long time to get back up.
You bounce back, though, is what I mean. You figure it out.
Sure. Yeah, well, at the end of the day, like, it's one of those things where, like, strength is never going to be a weakness, right? So, like, I have a strong upper body. It's just figuring out how to make everything work within the technical rules.
So this was, like you said, and I think this is a good idea, before Worlds, a pit stop on and test out how these bench rules would impact you. What did you gather from this, if anything?
I mean, I think I'm on the right track. You know what I mean? Like, I think I just need more reps. Like, I haven't done that many reps with this technique. And ironically, because of that, right, like, each one felt a little different. You know, like, even on my last one, I like extra flared my elbows, like, like jazz move. Like, what am I doing? You know, if the other ones were fine, don't change anything.
Right.
But it's just practice. You know what I mean? And practice under load. Because again, I wasn't going super heavy in general in training. So I think more reps, having like a peak where I'm going heavier, it's going to be all right. But it just, just practice.
Yeah, fair enough. Joe, let's talk about deadlifts. So things got interesting, and I want to get you talk about the other competitors as well. By this point, you pretty much put the nail in the coffin very, very quickly. At what point was it? I know after squats, you're thinking, I got this.
Yeah.
At what point you got your foot off the gas in terms of this is definitely mine? How does that impact you mentally, knowing these guys aren't even looking at me? It was very clear they were battling each other by this point. Does it impact you as a lifter, as a competitor? And then, so walk me through your deadlifts, and then how you think about what happened with their deadlifts.
So I didn't think the nail was in the coffin until after I overextended both of them. Well, at least Jaden, because I know his deadlifts is insane. He was good for the chip, in my opinion. Obviously, squat is kind of an indication of like where your deadlift's going to be as well. But I can't bank on anything happening. Maybe his squat was just horrible on the day, and he was an anomaly, and his deadlift shows up like crazy. So I was thinking, 390 is a number he'd have to pull where I'm like, yeah, you got zero shot in. So the number I needed on my second was that 355. The 330 opener was simply just like a warm up to my my 355, which is the low that I was gunning for and kind of worried about because I failed it a week prior, right? So I was like, okay, I need to lock in mentally and pull this 355. I don't care how hard it's going to be, but I just need to pull it and lock it out. It happened to have been very, very easy though, and I was super happy with the way it moved. But after that, I was like, yeah, obviously Jaden's not going 390.5. Obviously Angelo's not doing, I think, like 391 as a result. So I was like, okay, it's basically over right there. And at that point, I'm over here like talking to them. I'm asking their coaches like, "Yo, what's the game plan now?" I'm like,
now you're a fan.
Now I'm full on fan mode. I wasn't even thinking about going for the 370. I was like, is this worth pulling and even like risking an injury or over fatiguing myself for Worlds prep? But then like my coach Luke, he looked at me. He's like, you know what, like, we can't get out totaled by perk out here.
Yeah.
Like we got to pull something. So like,
was that the motive?
Yeah, that was.
Let's be honest. When he said perk, you're like, no, man, fuck that noise.
Exactly. I couldn't let it
happen.
happen.
All of a sudden, you were back into competition mode.
Yeah, pretty much. But I knew 370 was going to happen because 355 it moved very comfortable, and realistically, I think I had 375 on the day. So when he was like, "Yo, 370, that's enough to beat perk," I was like, "All right, let's load it up." But in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, I was like, should I even go out there? Because still anything can happen. And I don't want to let ego get the best of me like I did at Sheffield and risk a world championship, right? Like I don't want to injure myself and fuck my entire prep up coming up for Worlds. But when he said perk, man, I just had to do it, man. I just had to do it. I couldn't say no. I can have a 74, have the highest under 83 total
ridiculous.
for the year.
It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. He'll have the pound for pound. Let him have it. I don't care. But just as an 83,
no pound for pound in the jungle, though.
Exactly, and only kilos around here. I have to represent the other 83s for the sake of them, not even myself, but for the sake of powerlifting world.
In front of you, you were a very honorable man.
It was for them. It wasn't even for me.
Right.
Nothing to do with me. It was for Angelo. It was for Atwood. It was for everyone. So
feels good.
Yes, I went out there. I pulled it. Well, first of all, I made sure to dap all the handlers or the spotters and loaders.
That's why I thought if you could pause for 1 second,
Yeah.
I swear to God, as a commentator, so you always want someone to come out for the last lift.
Yeah.
And you're 100% right. There's a risk of injury, but risk of injury in powerlifting is not the craziest high of high.
Yeah.
If you're feeling okay, something starts popping up, all right, back off. But if you don't feel something there, you're probably not going to get hurt. When you came though and started dapping people up, I got to be honest, I'm like, oh shit, I think he's actually walking away. And then you were dapping up all the spotters, and then you backed up, and I think you kissed your chain. I'm like, no, we're back on.
Yeah.
No. And Adriana's like, no, I think he's actually going to let the clock wind down because he dapped it up. And I'm like, no, my man is back on now. That's what it's like to be 23 and be like, no, fuck that. How many weeks have we got? We're fine. Let's go.
Exactly.
So I was happy you did.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't fully like there mentally. Because I heard like one of the spotters, he's like, come on, let's smoke this shit. He was like yelling, trying to hunt me up. I literally look at him, I'm like, I'm probably not going to smoke this. You know that, right? I literally said that to him before.
You did?
But right before,
Oh my God.
Before the lift, I'm like, to be honest, like I'll be happy if I just pull this right now.
Holy
shit. I knew it was wrapped up. And like I said, my mindset wasn't even fully there.
Foreshadows to you later, but anyways.
So I went there. I knew I had it just based off my second. It was a 15 kilo jump. I never take a 15 on deadlift. I think the smallest jump I've ever taken was, I think at World I did a 17. I'm over here taking 20 to 30 kilo jumps. Pulling 380. Like there's not many 800-pound
Let's
pulls
talk
I got
about
in
last
me.
nationals, what you were thinking then, but.
Oh yeah, don't worry about last nationals. Don't worry about.
All right.
It worked out anyways.
All right, fair,
right?
that's fair.
But yeah, the 370, it moved fairly well. Maybe if I was more locked in, it would have moved faster. But yeah, the top end was actually a lot higher than I anticipated based off the previous week. But yeah, after that, actually even before I even went out there, I was talking to Matt Gary because I was watching the battle between Angelo and Jaden, and Matt, me and him were talking. He's like, if Jaden pulls this right now, he's still in third. I'm like, there's no way. Like, why? What's with this? What's with this attempt selection? And then Jaden rips it. Joey's hype. I'm up next. And as they're coming off, I tap Joey. I'm like, you're still in third, right? He looks at me, he's like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I pulled 5 kilos more. What are you talking about? I'm like, nah, you're still in third. And I think he had the discussion with Matt. Matt went up to him and they were talking about it. So I was
Joey
not,
Flex and Matt were talking about it?
I was not there at all mentally for my lift. I was more so intrigued with what just happened with their thirds.
Okay, so this is where on the live stream, I'm watching. I could see their body weights are the same.
Yeah.
I know where Angelo's already at. I know where he's about to pull the end up 850 as well.
Yeah.
I know by that math, like, yes, you're in third, you're gonna stay in third. For some freaking weird reason, the forecast was saying second. I'm like, well, that's not the way it's gonna be.
We looked on the screen. It still said third.
On ours, so the one that the commentators are looking at, for some reason said he's moving in the second, but I knew it was wrong. And so then I started thinking, is the forecast right and they're not the same body weight? Because it's very weird to have the exact same body weight, 0.00 exact same. So I'm like, maybe that's where the flub is. And there's a typo in that. So for a second there, I'm like, maybe there's something else going on before I'm going to be saying like Joey's off.
Exactly.
But as it were, no. Body weight was legit. Forecast was off that we were reading, and my man was pulling for
Same spot, third place still.
that is extremely difficult to pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And here's where things get. So he has a potential. What is the world record deadlift? Is it 380?
Yeah, it's 380 exact.
Okay. He's done 378.
Yeah, he chipped me.
So if Jaden made it to North Americans, and he still might, depending on what Angelo wants to do or whatever the heck.
No, Taylor qualified too.
Okay, and that's it. And Robert Keller said Taylor qualified. So let's see what he wants to do. But coming in second and bumping up the kilos would have helped anyways. There's a potential world record in play for him later on in the year. But we'll have to see. See what Taylor wants to do. See what Angelo wants to do. But now he's further and further down the run. Is the problem.
Well, thankfully they didn't hit the world record. He has the opportunity to do it because I want to take it. I'm trying to get those 5,000 euros
100%.
or whatever pounds.
100%. This works out for you, does it?
Yeah, because I had I'm telling you, I had 380.5 at Sheffield. The only issue was I wasn't primed because I didn't do a second attempt. And It was 40 minutes after my opener.
Fair.
That's the only, and I still broke the floor with it. So like, I'm so confident I had it. And then today, I was in the
You had Janee's blood on that bar today, and you still.
No, that was in the warm up room. I saw the blood. Not on the platform. Not on the platform. But yeah, it was a crazy showdown. Obviously, Joey Flex is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Some shit's bound to happen in such a long ass career like that. So.
Yeah, it's got to be said. Let's also say, Joey Flex has been handling people at the world level for 10 years. Yeah. 2016. You're going to have a mess up. Matt Gary literally wrote the book on handling and says in the book, I fucked up. And Matt Gary's the GOAT. It's going to happen. Yeah. I'm sure everybody's going to be they put the wrong one in. Do this for 10 years straight at the national, international level. You're going to put the wrong one in at some point in time. It is what it is.
But it wasn't for the all-out win either. So it's like, it doesn't hurt nearly as much,
No, that's a fact. Yeah. It's not like, this cost him going to Worlds.
We can promise that, that's never going to happen to Joey again, though. Well, you can't make the same mistake twice. So.
One would hope.
That's going to haunt him.
Right.
He's going to come back strong. He's going to be one of the, I'm telling you, he's going to have a coaching comeback. Watch.
He's going to have a coaching comeback. Right.
He's going to be on a tear. Everyone's program's going to be so good.
That's so pinpoint. Be careful. All right. We'll talk about Worlds in the future in a second. Janée, let's talk about your deadlifts. Walk us through it. Obviously, so from Team Celine, they were doing the right thing in terms of applying pressure where they're behind the 8 ball, so to speak, but they were applying pressure that if you missed, she was in first place now. I don't know if you were paying attention to the scoreboard. Obviously, you're confident, okay, I'm not going to miss this. But if you missed your second, she's in first.
Yeah.
And then if she hit her third and you missed your third, she's back in first again. She ends up missing her third, and as it were, you were already won, and you could walk through it. But were you paying attention to their game planning and realizing they're applying pressure, they're doing everything they're supposed to do?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And, we took their game plan and made a counter game plan. And I straight up told, before I even came here, I told everybody, I want to win on second pull.
You did. That's a fact.
I did. And, because I felt like, everybody's hyping up this battle. I'm like, let's battle's a strong term. When you win on the second pull,
it's more of a mild skirmish.
Yeah,
A dispute.
A dispute. It was a dispute.
So that was actually one of my big goals for the video. I was like, I want to win on second pull, and I felt pretty on today on deadlifts. So when I tweaked my back, it was on deadlift. So that's where I usually experience the most pain. But I actually didn't hurt much while pulling. It's more like the after effect. But I had that heavy squat, and it definitely like took a toll on the back. And I was like, all right. I think, it still felt good enough to pull what I needed to pull, though. And I looked, because I think our original plan was to go 232 on the second. And I said, well, okay, if I pull 232, she's going to have to pull 227. Her all-time PR is 225. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she can PR 2.5. But I don't think she's going to pull 230. And I told my coach, I was like, put in whatever we need. Like, put 235, because I think, like, one, I'm going to smoke it, but two, that's going to put it out of reach on the third. And that's exactly, it was the perfect call, because if you look at it, I mean, she got it up a good bit. Like, it was close, but I just knew. Once it started doing the bob and sway, I was like, nah, not going to happen. So then, when you went on the second, like, this is what happened for Worlds, right? Or Junior Worlds this past year. And so it's like, oh, you have a free try, like, you can do what you want with it. Like, pick some goal and just go for it.
Free try, I like that.
So, I mean, at that point, my CNS was already like, we're out. Like,
Like, how much of a tension relief is it when you find out I'm a national champion, I'm going to Worlds, your first national title, your first World Championships, like, everything's like, oh my God, not like Meghan, who's done it a bunch of times. Like, this is like, holy shit, a dream come true moment. So once you find that out, the relief you're feeling, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, we're still going though. What does it feel like?
I mean, I almost had to dial back my celebration in the back because I didn't want to get too disrespectful. I was
So
like,
you were celebrating, that's right. Well, I mean, it's not about celebrating a loss. You just won.
Yeah.
I think people get that. I
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
you mean, but
yeah, I didn't want to seem disrespectful to Celine and like be like, oh, I prayed on your downfall,
yeah.
But yeah, obviously I was happy I won, and I could like, I kind of just went into goof mode on the third. I was like, well, it either goes or it doesn't, And I mean, if you look at my second, I think it moved pretty good. But at that point, it's just like I felt like just so fried. I'm like, you know what? I'll give it my best try, but if it doesn't budge, I don't really care.
Right.
So,
based off your second, I would have thought it was there, to be honest with you. Your second moved very well. I was thinking, like, your third, if you need it. As it were, she probably feels better. Like, okay, well, it was closer because you did miss your third. So then you would say, I won on my second. She'd be like, but that was also the last one you got.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, had she made her third, we would have pulled 237. Right. That was only 2.5 above what I did for my second. It's like, okay, come on.
Right. But
sure. I think obviously, I think I would have liked the final total to be higher, but considering everything, I will take it. The one goal was just, okay, secure my spot, and then we can start putting up a heavy total at Worlds. Yeah.
If you ask Meg, you ask Joe B, because they've been in this particular situation, sometimes you just win. Yep. Sometimes, like ask Joe B, he won Worlds, like, whatever, my total came down. And it's not what you want in your head, but whatever, I won. You secured it. So 100%. And you will have time. We're going to talk about the future in a second.
Yeah.
Meg, walk us through your deadlifts.
Sure. So, like, I pulled 212.5 in training, and it moved really, really well last week. Before that, I had pulled above 190. So I was like, all right, if I can pull 212.5, I think above 220 will be there on meet day. And then I made a big jump to 212 from my first to my second, and it was a little hard. But I was like, you know what? Throw another 10 on. Like, let's just PR my deadlift at 63. So it was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it was a hard lift, but I like grinding a lift every once in a while, I'm good for it.
And, like, obviously, so PR deadlift bumped up the total from Sheffield, rebounded, felt it. Like, how did you feel after completing these 3 lifts?
Honestly, I felt really good. I mean, it was kind of what I needed from the day. Like, I didn't need it to be my best day ever, but I needed something from it. Like, I needed to remember who I am as a lifter, because that's when I'm at my strongest. And I got that today. And I'm very happy of where my total is, like, with the adjustments on bench, not losing many kilos, and it's making me more excited for the future.
and you had that advantage. I'm trying to think, because these other ladies in the 63s have similar, it's going to affect their bench similarly. Do they have a competition in between where they're going to be able to have that data point and test it out? I don't know when Swedish Nationals is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Swedish Nationals already happened.
And
Yeah.
you know?
For other reasons. It doesn't even have to do with all of it, but I know.
Okay,
Yeah, and she
okay.
doesn't have to go. You know, like similarly.
Right.
But yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I think it is a good idea for you to show it up, test it out, the confidence you're going to have from it, and collect from this.
Yeah, I just think knowing that I'm on the right track is important before I put in 4 months of work.
100%.
Like, let's make sure we're doing it right before we go rehaul everything.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's swing around the table and get what's next for you, for all you guys. Talk about the World Championships, and I mean, we don't even know necessarily where the World Championships is at. I'm hearing stories that, well, some people were saying it might be actually Sweden, which is interesting.
I've heard the U.S. I don't know.
See, I think everybody's heard everything though, and I've also heard the guy from Malta. I forget his name. Super nice guy, and he's got so many competitions in Malta right now because he actually has connections with.
Is it Moro?
Yes.
Did I just
Thank
get
you.
that right?
It is. It is.
I love Malta that I remember his name.
Malta was amazing. Malta was amazing. But anyways, it might be Malta, but regardless, how are you feeling for the World Championships? You secured your position here, but you still got Jerns running around with that Sheffield. You got Ade, who, if he ever gets that last pull, how do you assess the threat levels from those two? How do you assess the threat levels from the rest of the nations? And what does this mean to you to return to the World Championships, as well as an opportunity to go 900 and up internationally?
So the main goal in powerlifting is always going to win, or always to try to win a world championship, right? That's the pinnacle of the sport. So I'm just ecstatic that I got my ticket back to Worlds. No idea where it's going to be or when it's going to be. Hopefully it's on the same time frame so we can, cook up the prep. That'll be nice. I don't want to add another week or reduce some weeks when I'm already 3 months out.
You're right. They might even push the date if they need another.
Oh, if they push it,
venue.
that'll be better. Yeah, I'm fine with the push. But pulling it, nah. Like, how many weeks do we have now? Do you know?
Any man?
I
Ramsey?
want to say it's 14-ish, 13,
That's
14.
perfect. 13,
That's
14.
not bad.
That's
I
perfect.
think.
That's perfect. That's 3 blocks and a deload.
You know what? If they got to change, you're 100% right. They might push.
Okay, that's
like,
fine.
what if they said this bad boy's going to be in August or September?
Oh, even better. Whoa.
Well, the only thing to consider with that is they move Sheffield.
Sheffield. I think Sheffield stays. Sheffield's November.
Yeah, they have to keep it there.
I think 2 months in between. Let's hash this out right now. Between Worlds and Sheffield, how much of a gap would you guys like to see?
At least 3 months.
3?
I don't care because we're all under the same circumstances.
That's
Yeah,
true.
fair enough.
But
That's true. That's actually a good point.
In terms
But we
of
can
even
turn it around right now, clearly.
In terms of very well said. But in terms of SBD though, they're probably like, look, this is all based off of breaking records. If these guys are semi-cooked coming in, please. I mean, it's true. It's a level playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
But
I think it just brings that much more hype to the showdowns, actually. Now, we're all fried. And then it's basically like you have to calculate, who's the least fried, who could handle being that fried. It's almost like,
I
what's
might
his
get
name?
fried for this
That's
one.
hilarious.
As a commentator.
Who's the 59 kilo experiment guy? I forgot his name. already.
Mike Slovic.
Yeah, that's
Mike.
her.
First of all, he's a beast. Congratulations to
teammate.
Mike. Yeah, congrats to him. Insane deadlift. But I like the way he put it. It's like he likes the big custom 59 because it adds a big chance and a big like a wrench to things, right? It makes things
That's
really
crazy.
unpredictable.
Well, Mike's a gambler.
Okay. Well, he
Not to
probably
put,
loves
not to
being
put all
here.
his business out there, but he's probably going to be gambling away.
He loves the better than he loves being in only what would be better, Vegas for him. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
about
But yeah, it kind of brings that uncertainty to Sheffield if it were that close. And I'm confident in the quick turnaround. I mean, anything's better than 4 weeks. So give me 2 months. That's twice the time, man. I'll be okay.
I
with
like
it.
your attitude.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You know
I'll be
what?
fine.
I mean, I agree with him. Look, I turned around and had the best performance out of Vance's 5-6 weeks after Worlds.
Yeah.
They're like, there's no way she's going to be able to. Yeah, we silenced that real
And
quick.
you sandbagged Worlds, Loki.
And I sandbagged him.
And you did too. Yeah. You had a lot of energy in the tank.
I did. So we'll get to that. But yeah.
What do you feel about a turnaround if they pushed it back what do you think? 2 months? You also turned
I
around pretty
competed
quickly.
6 times last year.
I was
No,
just gonna.
I did 5.
You
I
turned
did
around
5.
a
right?
lot.
No, but like same thing. Like if you know you have to push twice, you might change your entire, you know, like wrapping your mind around it. Like I did Advances and then I did Austin, right? And I knew I was doing that going into it.
That's
you
right.
know, like it just, you know, yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even think of the fact that they might have to move the time, but
Yeah.
2021 they moved it into September because they had
Yeah.
to. So if and extenuating circumstances, what's the word? I'm looking for?
Extraordinary?
Extraordinary.
I don't know.
Thank you. Circumstance.
Extenuating.
Extenuating.
Big word up right
there
now.
it is.
I had a vocab book in school, you know.
We have ChatGPT nowadays.
That's right. It's a generational
and
thing.
paper.
Whoa.
But with those type of circumstances, if you have to change the location, it does make sense. They might push it. And some people go from North Americans to Sheffield.
Yeah.
And North Americans
Yeah.
is in August, is it not?
Yeah, I think it is.
So it somewhat evens that as well.
But if they're NAPF, like, we're not worried about them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. They're NAPF
That's
for a
the
reason.
B team? I don't know.
They're the B. Yeah, they're the B team, of course. What? We're going to Worlds. What are you talking about?
So disrespectful. You should have said that. That was your line. You missed a disrespectful moment right there.
No, she had her sound bites already. Let me
That's
talk
right.
about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
My name's been getting shit on. For the last-
That's okay. That's fair. You earned that.
Okay,
That's
come
right.
on.
That's right. But you know what? Well, the difference between June and August would be 2 months right there. We'll have
Yeah.
to see how it all wraps up and plays out. But having said all that, what do you expect from the Brits? Is there any other 83s that might be emerging? And I ran into Ade at Sheffield.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about bad taste in your mouth off of performances. He's like, my man, twice I'm pulling for the win and twice it doesn't hit. If he can load up and actually hit, but where's his top end at the deadlift? How do you feel about World Championships right now?
Well, I'm more confident for Worlds than I am for Nationals or was for Nationals. So, yes, Jurgens beat me at Sheffield, but like I said in the podcast, the same way I lost to Jurgens is the same way I lost to Russ. Russ came in 10th. I came in 11th. I don't feel any difference towards the two. I could have just went in and done my second attempt. And I could be Jurgens 6 for 9. Like going 6 for 9, I'd be Jurgens. So like, it's not a head to head. I'm sorry. Like we were running 2 different races. I shit myself on my
Literally?
race. No, okay, yo, chill out. No. No. I make sure I take
I
a
need
laxative 2
sound
days
bites.
out. I laxative 2 days out. Don't worry. I'm emptied out. No, but for real. Ade, you just never know with him. His training doesn't look the best, to be quite honest. It looks pretty rough. And then he did a Nationals not too long ago. Everything looked hard. Like, I feel like I can out-squat him, and squat is by far my worst lift. And then you have Jurgens. His bench is just nowhere near enough to be competitive with mine. His squat, obviously, he's going to out-squat me by 10, 15, maybe 20 kilos on the best day. But my deadlift, I gap him by quite a bit. And then bench, it's not a conversation. And then Ade, I think I can out-squat. First of all, my subtotal versus Ade is not even close. And then we have the same deadlift as well. Like, you can load up whatever you want on your third deadlift, but if you're not locking it out, like, that's not your top end. I'm sorry. Like, it just so happens his sticking point looks like he's close to those lifts. The reason he's failing on grip, in a sense, is because he fingertips it. So the fingertip grip allows him to get to lockout, but it's also because it's the same reason he's failing those lifts at the same time. So it's like, if he just gripped a little bit more, he's probably not budging 380 off the floor. I don't want to talk shit and say that he can't do it, but, you know, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot, and for him, it did in the sense. So it's like, was it a chance, or was he gambling for those thirds, or was it just like he's not strong enough? And I would see the data, and I think he just wasn't strong enough on the day.
I agree with Joe on that
It looks
one.
exciting. It looks real cool. He's like, oh, he's an inch away. But bro, like, that's how you fail. I fell off the floor. Taylor fails off the floor. But Taylor's third deadlift at Nationals it was probably just as close as Ade's third deadlift at Worlds. It just looks cooler because it's right before lockout. But no, you can't say, oh, if I just held on to it. Well, to hold on to it, you have to overgrip it. And to overgrip it, you have more ROM. When you have more ROM, you're not budgeting anymore. So it's like, I'm not worried about either of them. I'm just confident in my own ability because today, like I said, the worst I've ever felt, and they're not even close to that total. No, they're not even out of the 870s yet, and my worst day is 892. Well, technically my worst day is 850 something, whatever. But if I actually hit my lift, it's in the 890s minimum. So I just have more time now, and if it gets pushed back, I get even more time. So yeah, I'm in a good spot right now. I'm in a good spot.
And in terms of Taylor, so is Taylor still, because, all right, now I could, So he was telling me some of the lifts he was hitting in DMs.
Yeah.
I'll let him tell his story, but I know that his top end was rather high.
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding. You got to bring it to the platform.
Yeah.
Do you suspect that he is still your number one opposition as it stands today? Number threat levels.
It's so hard to tell because I said the same thing about Jaden, and then like he didn't show up nearly as strong as I thought he was. And then Taylor, yes, you can have a projected top end of whatever, but if you can't make it to the taper week, it doesn't matter. And like I said, he's just getting older. So like, okay, zap away his injury. Let's say he's fully healthy right now. Yes. In a year from now, when he's a year older, 1 year closer to 40. Sorry, Meg. Sorry,
Jesus, you didn't have to say that.
I'm sorry. Because I know she's thinking it. But yeah, every year that goes by, it's getting worse and worse. I'm sorry, but you can't beat father time. You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect a 40-year-old to progress at the same rate as an early 20-year-old. So if I were to like say a name, maybe Jurens, because Jurens, it looks like he's further away from his top end, like in sense of like where he's going to cap out in his career. You know what I mean? I think Taylor's a lot closer. Taylor's been in the game, I think, longer. And Taylor had more injury-riddled histories in the past. So I feel like for Taylor to show up, a lot of stars have to align. But for Jurens to show up, it's simply just like kilo after, or like 2.5 here, slowly chipping away. And he's doing it. So I don't think he's a threat, but he's the number one contender in a sense. Unless we're talking about Perk. Like if Perk moves up, like he's obviously the number one guy. Like it would be him. So if we exclude Perk, I'm gonna have to say Jurens. But if we're just talking about like everyone under the 83 kilo class, it's obviously Perkins.
How about this? Because Taylor Atwood can go to North Americans.
Yes, he can.
Last time, he was gunning for the world record. Did he shit the bed?
No, he didn't shit the bed. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that to the goat.
I was giving you.
No, I really shit the bed. All right.
All right, fair enough.
Things out of my control still, but like
He's my boy, but
Yeah.
it's a soundbite.
yeah,
Taylor,
man.
relax.
My bad, Taylor. I'm not gonna do that to you, man.
Okay, very classy of you. How about this though? So, if he goes to North Americans, he has an opportunity because at Worlds you're not going to load anything more than you need to win. You'd
Yeah,
be
I'm just
crazy,
gonna go to
right?
win. Yeah.
So, what are you hypothesizing that would be in and about? Probably what you did today-ish. Do you think? Because you don't think those fellas are coming out of 870s? Do you think they're getting the 880s?
Oh no, I think they'll be out the 870s. Yeah, that's almost a guaranteed, at least for Jurens. Ade's still a wild card. And he's under Marcellus now, so like I have full faith in Marcellus to get him right. But where I saw him just a couple months ago, I don't see him adding like 50 to that top end. Unless he was just like mega detrained or something. I don't know what the circumstances were. But definitely 880s, I'll have him around. 890s is pushing it. I think 900 would be safe. I think 900 is safe.
So you think, though, you're probably going to, what I'm trying to surmise is, where's the world record going to be when you leave
I'll probably go
Worlds?
9 because like everyone's like, oh,
You're going to go 9 at Worlds?
Everyone's like, he can't do 9 on internationals, bro.
But you'll have Sheffield just a couple months later.
I don't care about no Sheffield.
Here's
I
the
care
thing.
about Worlds, man. What are you talking about?
Work with me on this one.
I
Work
got
with
you,
me
I
on
got
this
you.
one.
Let me lock in.
Okay. If you win and you keep it around the world record, or you don't touch your world record at all, give Taylor an opportunity for North Americans. And I promise you, if he can go just a stitch over the world record, and SBD's like bring in Taylor versus you for Sheffield, that would be a super mega showdown.
No, it wouldn't. I'm sorry.
You don't think so?
No, bro. He had, 7-8 months from NAPF to NATS and he got injured. Give him 2 months. It's not happening. I'm sorry.
I gotta agree.
You're taking
I'm
it.
sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
He's
I was
not
like, there's
Meg.
no
Meg
way
is
he's
the
gonna turn
outlier.
around. Yeah.
She's the outlier. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is
and so is Jurgens too. Jurgens is good with the quick turnarounds,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But like I said, like Taylor has so many miles on his body, and he's the GOAT. So like, good for him. Like he can't make the turnaround anymore. I think. And, like the Nats to NAPF turnaround, I think was too quick, and clearly the NAPF to Nats turnaround is too quick now. So you're cutting that by like 2/3 the time. Like it's not happening. I'm sorry.
So is Taylor cooked?
Well, okay, right now he's obviously cooked. Like his body is literally cooked. But I think NAPF, like, okay, in a vacuum, I think he can go 900 at NAPF, yes. But the repercussions of that on his body would just be too much to overcome, I think. And clearly the data shows that unless, like, a miracle happens, which I do believe in miracles, so potential. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't go against
Janée
data.
believe in miracles?
No, she
No.
believes in data. She's an engineer.
That's right.
Yeah, anything can happen though. Hopefully he does do it because then I can get that rematch, and then it'll be like me versus Well, actually, I don't know because we got Angelo going against him. Then if they go head up,
At North Americans, you mean?
yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be like a phenomenal.
And Angelo has the top end. It just didn't show up today. I'm not sure what happened. I penciled in for like a 325, 330 squat. His deadlift actually showed it pretty good. They hold him on the second. Like he did like a freedom hold, and they just not want to get in the down command.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Whatever. But his top end, if all things click, I think he's in the 870s, and by then maybe 880. He's almost 10 years younger than Atwood, or like 8 or something.
No.
Hey, he's 30.
Angelo's in his 30s, no?
Yeah, he's in his
early.
30s.
He's early.
Oh, yeah, but
30s now.
Atwood is...
He's almost 40.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Like, there is a...
There's a lot of disparaging remarks on the Halo.
Me...
37's not almost 40. Okay.
He's almost 38. Me and Angelo are closer in age. I think me and Angelo are closer in age than Angelo and Taylor are. It's close.
But you guys are like 8 years apart still, though.
True, but then him and Angelo are 8 years apart. So it's like...
Yeah, but okay, we're all right. I got what you're saying. So you're going to go 900 for Worlds, is what you're saying?
That's the plan. I want to put up an actual squat. Like I need to go at. I want to get to 700. If I can do that, and then like chip with the world record bench, don't empty the tank there. Then that will allow me to pull back on my deadlift quite a bit. Like if I squat 7, I can pull 370, and I'm at 9. Because I don't want to take the deadlift world record because that's the lift where I'm near capped out. Like name any other 83 pulling 380. It's just
crazy.
me, it's Jaden, and it was Enna. That's it. We're all near 380, and I think there's a reason behind that. There's just so much the 83 kilo body can handle, and I was always like a deadlift specialist in a sense, and my bench actually caught up to it, and then my squat it's still lagging behind. So if I can actually get that squat up, make it somewhat respectable, not get out squatted by a 19-year-old 74 in Elliott, like I'll be happy. And that, like I said, that'll give me enough room to not go all out on the deadlift. So yeah,
Interesting. All right.
am I doing the second attempt?
All right. Well, I
On
mean,
the 900, a real second attempt though. We're not.
Yeah.
I have to hit a big squat first though.
it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. With the other 83s and what you do at Worlds will impact their chances.
Yeah.
You could totally close the door on Taylor by balling out and doing 900. And I was like, oh, fuck. But we'll see. All right. Interesting stuff. How about you, Janée? The future. Have you scouted the 69s around the world yet? What's this looking like?
There's pretty much just like one.
That you're worried about?
Yeah, I mean, there's Carola Gara. That's going to be my biggest competition. Agatha's left, so I would say her, but, she's long gone. So, yeah, there was, what's her name? She's from the Virgin Islands, I believe. She totaled 570 last year. I think she got third.
Chandler Babb.
Oh, yeah. Two-time world champ.
My all respect, but I just...
That's OG right there. Lock in.
I know. I need to lock in.
I know who she is. Look.
I'm running off of probably the calories thing. We're gonna blame it on that. Yeah.
There you go.
Tylenol. Too much Tylenol.
Yeah, a little bit too much. I might be overdosing right now. If I pass out, or 911 for me. But yeah, there's two main things, right? So obviously, with my first Open Worlds, I want to win. That's the first goal. And then there's the Sheffy part of it. So thank you to Agatha. She set that record nice and high. So 95% is going to be a 597.5 kilo total.
Oh, my God.
So I basically have to total 600. Do I think I can do that? Hell yeah. I'll have some time to recover up. I think people had really high expectations for my total this meet. And I was like, whoa. Let's slow it down. I think had I not gotten injured and they not changed the bench rules, okay, maybe we could have got a little closer. But for all things considered, I mean, if it comes down to a scenario of okay, I have the choice to pull for the win or pull for a Sheffield spot, being Open World Champion is going to be priority, right? Mm-hmm. Sheffield can always come down the line, but hopefully it's a scenario similar to this one where we could just lock down the win on the second, then go for the Sheffield on the third. That would be a perfect day for me.
The difference is, God bless Celine the Machine. She's phenomenal. But Carola Gara is a 2-division world champ. World Games, she's a monster.
Oh, yeah.
So solidifying a win on her by second attempt is a whole another ballgame.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be a lot more difficult, but I don't think, we just had the whole age debate, right? I think, I'm 23. I've made insane progress over the last year. I think I'm going to continue to make pretty substantial progress. And, you know, for me, it always just feels like the beginning. Like, it's weird to say, like, oh, I'm a open national champion, but I just feel like I'm still in the beginning of things. So, you know, I know with Carola, she's also pretty injury prone, throwing out her back at stuff. But she put up 580, I don't know how many months ago, at Italian Nationals.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a solid performance, right? I was hoping to put up at least 580 as well, so we can have a little, you know, a little comparison. But, you know, I think I can do it, you know. I got to believe in myself, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I got. Right?
100%.
So we'll see. We'll see how quickly we can put it together. But, yeah, I'm going to give it my all. So,
Do you plan on getting spicy with, like, two-time world champs like Chandler Babb from Trinidad and Tobago? I didn't actually check, though, if Chandler was at those nationals, but I don't know how they qualify.
They're next week.
Are they
Why
okay?
do I know this?
Yeah, I know. They're like, you are a powerlifting nerd. Like, holy smokes. They're next week. I'm watching them with Brian. Yeah, I'm like,
No,
okay.
no, I swear to God. I'm just coaching a lifter that's competing. That's
Okay,
fine.
perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll pay attention to that then. But do you plan on getting spicy with, like, Chandler Babb, legend, two-time world champ, Carola Gara, legend, Hall of Famer, first time she's eligible? How will that look? Because as a fan, I don't know, it's going to be interesting.
yeah. Well, I think, you know, when we talk about the social media game, they're not really as active on social media. And it's
Neither
like,
was Celine, though.
I guess, but even then, she posts more consistently than they do. So, to a certain degree. But, you know, I think we're just gonna let the skills speak for this one. I don't really need to say anything other than, like, yeah, I'm coming through. So they know I'm coming. I mean, like, you know. So we'll see. Obviously, I wanted to put up more of a statement performance, but it didn't have to be crazy today. But, you know, what? Give me another rehab block. Like I said, I mean, I hurt my back 5 weeks ago. I thought it would be better by now, and it's like, you know, slowly. It's slowly getting better. So I think give me another block, I'll be good to go, and we can start sending stuff again.
I was going to say, you're tired, you beat up. Let me talk to you in 3 weeks. You start smashing big numbers. All of a sudden, your caption be like, man, fuck these girls. They don't know who they're playing with. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's do this. Meg, how about yourself? Let's talk about the World Championships. Number 6 for you, and you were a perennial contender every time you show up. What is your resume at this point? How many world records? How many medals? How many? Do you even know?
No. I don't know. I know that I've won to place second twice, came in third once. But
Yeah.
that's the extent of my knowledge.
And like world records and all the rest of it, you got no idea.
No. I do know that I have a fair amount of world medals, like, because they do the individual lifts, you know? And there were several years where I got medals in everything, even deadlift.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
What are you looking forward to this? Obviously, I mean, it's a stacked class. They're doing amazing things. What are your expectations? What are your goals here? And look at now, it's become a freaking... Now it is a part of the talk is the age factor. And you do well, everybody's like, yeah, fucking get them. Push it back. You got people 15 years your junior writing people off. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're going to be all of a sudden you're going to be a sentimental favorite though, to a large extent.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the difference is, like, I'm 37. I don't go into training and be like, I'm 37. Let's see, you know, like, I just go fucking train.
Right.
And like, the thing is, I didn't start powerlifting till later too, right? So like, I'm in my 10th year of powerlifting, which is a lot, but like most people don't find their elite level of powerlifting. This is really nerdy, but one time I did go deep in this, and it's like around year 6 or 7, people start going to worlds, like in competitive nations, you know? And that is pretty consistent. I mean, I think I went to worlds when I was like 3 years into powerlifting, which isn't really that much. So I've been around obviously for a while, but I feel like I'm still getting stronger. I've only been powerlifting exclusively since 2020.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
So I was like, not that long.
yeah.
I'm more of an
Well,
OG.
2021. I
What's
guess
that?
I was
I'm more of an
pregnant in
OG.
2020.
I started in 2018.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess it was really 2021 since I spent all of 2020 pregnant. But there's
true.
that. Yeah, no, I just feel like I know myself better than I ever have, and I know how I train well. So, I don't know. like, I understand at some point it will stop, but it's not stopping yet.
And what are your like future goals you want to check off? Not just for this particular world, but period. Having
Totally
said that,
forgot you asked me about worlds. I'm sorry.
no worries. No, I got you. But for this world,
Yeah.
but also bigger picture.
Sure.
Is it? We talked previously on the podcast about 69, and if you ended up going to worlds as a 69, one of the even if you just medaled, how many people? 57, 63, 69, collecting medals like that. That's GOAT.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this year, a huge goal for me going to Worlds is I want to PR my total, like at 63, not just like heavy 63 PR. I want to PR my total at 63, like all time. And quite honestly, like my training for going into Sheffield was going really, really well. So I was thinking it might be there. Obviously it wasn't. The date was just not mine. But I know that building on some blocks, like it'll be there, you know, like I'll be all right with it. I've also obviously spent more time at 65 rather than 60. So that helps. It just helps how you feel under the bar. You know what I mean? But I'm feeling really good. So I'm just kind of looking to build into it and put on a show.
Is 69 in the future for you? Or are you like, let me get through this world? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I still think it's in the future. I mean, I had a lot of fun. You know, like it's just different to show up to meet day and literally just walk in, you know. I think there's benefits to each, you know, like I feel like in terms of the mentality of it, sometimes when you're cutting weight to get to a meet, it makes it feel more real. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but like you get into that mindset earlier because you have to be on top of it meet week. And obviously like your diet going in, but yeah, I mean, I just, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, 69 kilo class will be stacked again. Janée, you, Gara, Bab, freaking, it's going to be a
You better
stack.
talk shit right now. Look at her
Take
face.
it easy. Take it
She
easy.
wants to say something.
Wait.
Go ahead. Is it about my age?
My bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like, call me
I
a
never
dinosaur.
felt healthier
That's
with
right.
a whole surplus of calories.
Now, I've always said this. I said, you know, I welcome Meghan to the 69 kilo class because if I beat a goat, what does that make me?
Does it make you a goat, dude? How do you judge goat?
There's a lot of different ways to do that. But, you know, it puts me on the track to goat status if it doesn't make me a goat outright.
If you beat Gara and you beat Meg, those are Hall of Famers.
Hello.
I said if. Those are Hall of Famers. I'm like, for sure. By no means am I saying like you got to get through Gara. Meg's an absolute monster herself. This is an excellent showdown. You guys clashed in 25. If you end up clashing, I guess it wouldn't be 26. It'd be 27 due to the scheduling.
I gotta get big.
And you would have time. You'd have time, conceivably. That would be an absolutely phenomenal showdown.
I mean, here's the carrot. Because at first I'm like, hey, like, it would be really hard for me to be a full 69. Like, it would be really challenging. The carrot is, I felt like at the end of last year, I was like, I see 600.
And how?
And like, regardless of what it gets me when I get there, like, that's pretty
Of course.
cool.
Yeah.
You know?
And in terms of like someone like yourself who's done so much, all like your resume we're just talking about, those last few check boxes, 600. And if you get to Worlds and whatever happens as a 69, again, there's very few check boxes you haven't checked yet.
Yeah. I mean, you can always find more. 500 used to be a checkbox, so,
Right.
you know.
Right. And then, okay. So for the foreseeable future, for 63 for this year and then 69, you're pretty sure on that one.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I find myself back at Sheffield in November, and it wouldn't be right for me to go 69 at Sheffield.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. The bulk would be a semi-short bulk.
Wouldn't be that bad.
That wouldn't be that bad.
Because we moved Sheffield up since October to, or no.
November to March. That's not that bad.
Okay.
Christmas,
Well,
holidays.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good Christmas, huh? It's gonna be a good holidays.
Easy
all right.
bulk.
That's right. Well, listen, guys, how long did we do this here, Ramsey? Almost 2 hours. Okay. Well, think I'm going to get in a fight with my girlfriend. I said I'll see you in an hour. Anyway, sorry.
And my bladder is about to explode for
All
the
right.
second time.
There we go.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you guys doing this. You guys are probably tired as shit. And you want to go celebrate, eat, drink, the whole nine, and
Yeah.
you deserve it. So thank you as per usual. You guys never say no. You always hop on, and I appreciate the fans appreciate for the quality content. And for everybody watching, we got these every single freaking night after the national championship. Come back here. We're going to grab the winners, and we're going to do this. Until next time, six-pack lap it at. 6 up.